Hey, good morning, guys. It's Monday morning, and we are still in the chapter on the president. It's kind of a timely chapter because everything we're going through right now, or the president is being talked about a lot, and you're seeing what a president can do and what a president can't do. So let me. I'm not going to waste a lot of your time this morning with small talk. So let me go to our Google Classroom. Let me just make sure that everybody understands what should be done at this point, and what we're doing at this point. So here's our Google Classroom, government economics. Okay, this is the video that I made the other day. This you need to watch. Make sure this video has been watched. Okay, this is worksheet number 1 that goes along with I think these probably go more along with the textbook. So make sure this worksheet's done. Make sure this worksheet's done. Okay, and then watch this presidential power crash course, and then this is the slideshow, and then this is the book. Okay, and it's really easy to. I mean, you know this by now. It's really easy to read. So make sure that you've read this. Make sure that you've watched this video, and then make sure that you follow me along with the slideshow. Okay, and then do these 2 worksheets. I'm going to finish this right now, and then we're going to have a quiz probably a week from today. Okay, we'll have a quiz week from today, then we'll have a test, and then we're really up against it. We really don't have much time left. So I'm also going to post a question. Okay, I'm going to post another assignment. It's going to be like 1 or 2 paragraphs. That will need to be done probably by a week from today also. Okay, it's going to be on what you would like to see the president doing during this time. So anyways, let's go back to the slideshow. We're talking about the president. Okay, we're talking about the cabinet. We're talking about the executive office of the president. Now I kind of want to move on. Let's talk quickly about the vice president. The vice president really doesn't have any constitutional responsibilities. Basically, the vice president is there to do whatever the president wants him or her to do. And the vice president is also there in case the president either dies, is kicked out of office through impeachment, is incapacitated. Maybe he is temporarily, let's just say the president got COVID and he was on a ventilator and he's in a coma. Well, if somebody's got to step up and do what the president would do. So if he's incapacitated, so that's really the role of the vice president. At times they're kind of like just a figurehead. They speak, they go to meetings, they represent the United States around the world, but there's really not a lot of power in the vice presidency. You don't see a lot of people being elected president after they were vice president. So I just read this quote. This is a hell of a job. I can only do 2 things. One is to sit up here and listen to you birds talk. The other is to look at the newspaper every morning to see how the president's health is. That was Charles Dawes, who was the vice president, meaning, well, if the president dies, I guess I have a job then. So that's all I want to say about the vice president. The first spouse, so whoever's married to the president, they have an unofficial job also. Okay, they are a spokesperson for the president. Okay. They also have some power because if you're married to the president, you have some influence in dealing with the president. You're married to that person. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll be like the president's better half. When the president is getting beaten up, the first spouse will say the right things, do the right things. They usually have some sort of charity or some sort of work that they're doing. Nancy Reagan was saying no to drugs. I think Michelle Obama was about illiteracy. I can't remember, but they always have something with they're pushing for. Okay, they're not elected. They don't actually have any power, but they do have some power. Probably the most powerful first spouse ever was Eleanor Roosevelt. She traveled around the country because her husband couldn't because he was in a wheelchair. But so the first spouse is important. So this is really what I want to talk about, the president and policy. The president's power and institutional resources give him a substantial voice in the nation's policymaking voice. The president has no power to pass a law. That is the Congress's job. You know that. We've studied that. But if the president stands up behind the bully pulpit, as Teddy Roosevelt liked to call it, if he stands up and says, listen, I think the country should go in this direction. I think there should be this type of a law. I think this policy should be carried out. The country's going to follow him because he's the most powerful person. And every time there's a camera, every time he speaks, there's a camera on him. Okay. The country has grown to expect the president to deal with events that affect the country. We expect the president to be dealing with this pandemic. Now, is it the president's fault? No. Did he come up with the virus? No. Is there really anything he could have done to prevent it? No. But we look to the president for that leadership. We look to the president to lead us in the correct direction. Now, whether or not you think he's doing that right now, whether you think President Trump is doing that, I'm not here to tell you yes or no. But Americans do look towards the president, right? Think about FDR during World War II. They looked to the president to be strong and to lead us. So George Bush on the war on terrorism, there's a famous scene where Bush is at the Twin Towers after they've fallen, and he has a megaphone, and he says that the people who did this will be hearing from the United States very soon, and we invaded Afghanistan and Iraq, but that was an example of the president just being the leader. Okay. Today's president dominate policy-making process. This is not always the case. We've talked about this. In the 1800s, it was really Congress that was more powerful. Teddy Roosevelt's a powerful president. FDR is even more powerful president. Now the presidents are very powerful. Okay. They can push their power through three different ways. One, by their party, if they're in a strong party. So Trump's first 2 years in office, the Republicans controlled the Senate and the House of Representatives. He had a powerful party. Now the Republicans no longer control the House of Representatives. They still do control the Senate, though. Popular mobilization, meaning he can mobilize the people. Trump is a master at this. He goes out and he has his rallies. That's mobilizing the people. Okay. Barack Obama was very good at this. He mobilized the African American vote. He mobilized the urban vote. He mobilized people who had felt like they had been ignored by the political process. He was great at that. And also administration. If the president is getting stuff accomplished and it looks like he is an organized president and things are moving forward, he gets more power. Okay. This popular mobilization. Okay. This is really one of the ways that the president has power now. Okay. And their party also. The president works with their party to get legislation done. So the president, pretty much whoever the president is, when it was Barack Obama, the Democrats were going to do whatever Barack Obama said. When it was George Bush, the Republicans do whatever George Bush said. Now it's Donald Trump, they're going to do whatever Donald Trump says. Now, if they control both houses of Congress, that makes the president very, very powerful. Right now, they don't control the House of Representatives. So the Democrats have a say in every single bill because you need both houses to vote on it, to agree to a bill for it to become a law. President is de facto leader of his party. So Donald Trump is the leader of the Republican Party. Barack Obama was the leader of the Democratic Party. George Bush was the leader of the Republican Party. Whoever the president is, he's the leader of the party, even though that's not his official role. He is the president. He's the most powerful person, and he represents that party. So when the president goes public with something, this becomes important to the country because it says here on the slideshow, the pet projects, meaning that whatever it is that a change in healthcare when President Obama was in office, all he had to do is, I want to try to fix healthcare. I want to take healthcare in a different direction. All of a sudden, that became very important to many, many, many Americans. Okay. Donald Trump, one of his pet projects was, I want to build a wall to cut down on illegal immigration between the United States and Mexico. Now, that immediately became an important thing to many Americans because the president just said it. So when the president goes public with an idea, it all of a sudden becomes important. Okay. It says he informs the people through the press that he wants to accomplish a certain priority. So again, Barack Obama wanted to change healthcare. Donald Trump wanted to cut down on illegal immigration through building a wall, as two examples. The way that FDR went to the public was he used fireside chats. JFK used a televised press conference. Donald Trump uses Twitter. This is how they go public. This is how they get their ideas to the people. Now, that doesn't mean that automatically becomes a law or that automatically becomes a policy in the United States. But because the president is the leader of the country and because they are the most powerful person in the country, all they have to do is say something, say, this is what I think we should do, and it becomes a priority in the United States. That's why the president is so powerful, especially now with 24-hour news and social media. The president can't say anything without the public finding out about it. So it's easy to get his or her ideas out there. I'm going to skip through this. So let's think about this. The framers envisioned a government in which Congress and the president shared power. They do still share power. The president can't get anything done without Congress, but the president has become more powerful because he can just say something and the country follows. The Congress has 535 people in it. Who are they going to follow? They can follow the Speaker of the House, I guess. They can follow the Senate Majority Leader, I guess. But it's not like the president. The president is one person. Okay. Since the New Deal, so the 1930s, FDR, the power of the presidency has increased greatly. That's really where Teddy Roosevelt, super powerful, Andrew Jackson, super powerful, but FDR really expands the role of the president, expands the role of the federal government. For instance, presidents now figured out how to conduct an entire war without ever getting Congress involved. Okay, that starts in Vietnam. Now we can fight a war and we don't even have to have Congress involved. The president can do it all on his own. And the Congress has handed much power to the president in matters of national defense and federal budget. Okay, the Congress has given a lot of their power to the president, and this has all happened in the 20th century. The power of the purse was originally, meaning that who controls the money, that was originally intended for Congress. But now the president kind of comes up with the budget, hands it to Congress, and then Congress is expected to try to do the best they can to make the president's budget work. Now, in 2020, the House is controlled by the Democrats, so they've taken some of that power back away from President Trump. But for the most part, the president says this is what we're going to spend money on, and this is all. You can take this straight back to the New Deal in the 1930s. A powerful president, a weak Congress, and a disinterested electoral can be a dangerous mix. So if the president is super powerful, if Congress is not powerful, if people aren't communicating with Congress, and if Congress can't stand up to the president, and a disinterested electoral, meaning that if people in the United States aren't really that concerned about it, then the president becomes even more powerful, and that can be dangerous. So think, there's three branches of the government, and originally the founding fathers assumed that they would all be about the equal power. It hasn't happened. In the 20th century, in the 21st century, the president has become way more powerful, and you're seeing that to some extent now. Here we are 6 or 7 weeks into the pandemic, and everyone's looking to the president for answers. Well, I don't know that the president can have any answers for this. He's not a scientist. He's not a doctor. He can lead us. He can push us in the right direction. Maybe just getting behind the microphone and giving words of wisdom or encouraging Americans, whatever it is you think the president should do. But he's not going to actually come up with a solution necessarily. And that's kind of what your assignment is going to be. So when you're done watching this video, go back to Google Classroom. There'll be an assignment there, and it's a 1 or 2 paragraph assignment. Do that. That will be due by next Monday. And then next Monday, you'll have a quiz. So I will review with you on Wednesday. I'll put a video up about the review. Make sure you're getting all your stuff done. Make sure all your assignments are due. Make sure the assignment that's being posted this morning, make sure that gets done. And if you need anything, let me know. Thanks.